Good morning, good morning, good morning. And today I am rocking my queen shirt because I received a shout out this morning from a sister friend of mine who enjoyed the last video, especially the reference to the song that was played. She gave me a shout out on Facebook this morning and it felt amazing. The reason that it felt amazing is because we're all queens in our own right. And as women, we go through so much in relationships, especially. I'm gonna just put it out there. I feel like a relationship is very centered in a woman's life because when you go home from a stressful job where you're already underpaid, you fight through traffic with people that you don't know to get there and to get back. Time management, waking up on time. A lot of us have children and we have to get them ready and get them somewhere before we even get to work. When I used to work in union at the company where I met this sister at, our jobs were very stressful. It was a call center. It dealt with alarms and medical emergencies, and it was very stressful. And not only was it stressful, you had to have great time management because you had to be to work on time. And it was a 24-hour call center. It never closed. Rain, snow, sleet, hail. We didn't get any holidays off. Only thing your vacation time and very limited sick time. So I understood the stress of a working woman. I understand how, in conjunction to being a working woman and being part of a provider in a household, how hard it is to come home to someone who is not making sure that they ease your pain. So if you leave in one stressor to come home to another stressor, what kind of life is that? So a lot of women, we center our lives around our relationships because that's the place that we go to for comfort. That's the place that we look to erase the pain of the day. I think a lot of people focus on how, you'll come across little memes on Facebook that'll say stuff like, sis, he already this, he already that, so be his peace. But nobody is wondering who's our peace. We need peace too as women. A lot of my sister queens out there are suffering. They're suffering in silence. They're suffering with childcare needs. They're suffering with, providing and being in relationships that are not great. I mean, it is what it is. We all have been there before. I too have been in relationships that were great at times and sometimes they were bad. Like I'm very transparent in that. I talk about my life, and some relationships I look back in the past didn't even deserve me for as long as I stayed. And I think we all just need to really sit down as women and evaluate what worth the thing that we put in our life that's centered to us means to us. What type of energy are you receiving from this man or woman that you're dealing with? What are they bringing to the table? How are they meeting you halfway? A lot of times you'll get a woman that's a hustler. She's hustling. I've seen these women in this call center work overtime after overtime after overtime. I mean, leaving, going home, cooking, picking up kids, making childcare arrangements, coming back on that same day just to pick up 4 hours here or 4 hours there. I've seen us literally waiting, and myself included, to jump into the overtime pool to just put my name on a few extra hours so I could have a few extra money to keep my head above water, just waiting. So, I mean, everybody should hustle, and if we grinding together, that's great. But a lot of times I felt in my heart, and even for myself sometimes, that a lot of us women, we're grinding because we don't have that other half that is meeting us halfway. And it's unfortunate because a woman has a lot on her plate. I say it all the time. You are responsible for half the bills in that household, which means you have to keep a job. You have to be career driven, always trying to better yourself and improve yourself and heighten your resume. On top of that, you're the primary caregiver in that home. When those children get sick, he don't have to take a day off. It's very rare that he has to take a day off. you have to take a day off. So all of your sick days, vacation days for a woman, it gets eaten up quick. I have a friend who's married and her husband rarely meets her halfway with their children. They have about 4 kids. And she used to tell me all the time, sis, like when my kids get sick, I'm in jeopardy of losing my job. This sis was a good worker, smart, but she always used up her sick days very quickly. A, she was exhausted, and B, she had 4 children who got sick at different times. Different things come up. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, eye doctor appointments. If your child has braces, that's an appointment every month. Every month for the duration of those braces. You have to maintain all of these appointments on top of this job, on top of coming home, parent-teacher meetings. I remember when my girls were small, it was a struggle. I was exhausted after work, pulling up at North Star some of those days to sit there at a play or an event, or just, they were having like small things early in the morning sometime before work. So even before I even punched the clock, I was already up early in the morning fixing breakfast and making sure I was there on time to see this little early morning ceremony for my baby girl so she's not disappointed, and then running around back to work. It's to the point where once my oldest daughter got in high school, I straight neglected her high school. I think the first time I walked into North Star High School for Ajane, she was probably about to graduate or something. I could not make it to any of her other events because I was tired. I was already exhausted, and I thank God for Ajane because she was very mature by that time, and she was able to like, Mom, I'm not really into that. But now looking back, I regret that. I regret that I was not more present in her last 4 years before adulthood. I was there. I provided a home for her. I was there financially. And one time I brought it up to her. She was like, Mom, you were there. You hugged me. You kissed me. You supported me. And it broke my heart. I cried because I needed to hear that. Because women, we have so much on our plate. We have to be present for these parent-teacher meetings, report card night, doctor's appointments, like I said earlier. And then after all that is over, you are looked at to provide a meal. You're judged if you provide a meal from a fast food place. So now I'm rushing home. I'm cooking this meal. I'm cooking dinner. I'm helping with homework. And for the people who have kids who go to certain charter schools or even certain public schools that I might not know about, the homework load was heavy. That was a huge stressor in my life. And I had 2 to finagle. I know some women that had 4, 5, and 6. I don't know how they did it. I have no idea. But it just brings me to a time in my life where I even had a job in Piscataway, and my commute was brutal. That commute was brutal. I was up every morning by 6, which is not that early, right? Because I didn't have to be to this job until 9:30. So I was up at 6 a.m. every morning. I don't know what was going on with my vehicle at the time, but I had some arrangements. So I was up at 6. I had to cook dinner while I got dressed. So I would get the food out the night before. I would fix dinner that morning. So I would prep it. Say it was baked chicken. I would literally put the chicken in the oven at 6 o'clock. Season it up, throw it in the oven, right? Go brush my teeth, take my shower, maybe fix my hair. By then, I'm going to check on the food, make sure it's not burning. If it's time for the sides, I would put the sides on. I remember this routine. Put the sides on, wake up my then probably 5-year-old, and get her up. Make sure she's brushing her teeth. I make my kids take a shower as soon as they turn 4 years old. Like in my house, you take a shower every morning when you turn 4. We don't do the nighttime showers. I'm big on showers. So I would get her up. She'd get in her shower, brush her little teeth, however many were left, because at the time I remember her missing teeth. And I would get Ajane up, my oldest, and she was self-sufficient at that point. So she would be getting ready for school too sometimes. And I think she started even catching the bus by now because it was just more convenient. But before the bus, I used to take her. So let me just break it down. Then I would go while my baby girl was doing what she did. I would actually go and put the sides on, because sides are less time than the main course, which was your meat. So now I'm putting the sides on. I'm doing her hair. Every morning I did this little girl's hair. I wasn't one of those mothers who could send my kid to school with day old ponytails. Like, I liked them crispy. I liked them brushed down. I liked her cute. I liked her shiny. So I would get her ready and put the sides on. And by the time the sides were done, I would actually pack my lunch for work. So that was part of the routine. Now I have a fresh meal. I'm going to pack me a nice lunch for work, or either the food from the day before I would pack for my lunch, whatever. It doesn't matter what I did. It was up to me. But I was such a super woman. I would literally have a meal cooked that morning. Now, I was either dropping off at one point, I remember, but at one time, I don't know what happened to my vehicle. I had to be up and about because my sister was actually commuting me to my friend, who was then taking me to work with her because something happened to my car. Maybe I didn't have a car at the time. I don't know. Then there was a point when I did have a car and I was commuting all the way to Piscataway and sitting there. So long story short, I had a lot on my plate. And then after I got off of work, because people decide that it's okay for moms to work after school closing hours, which is an entirely different demon, because not only do you have to rely on somebody, and I know it takes a village, but in this culture, we really don't have that village anymore like we used to. Grandmas are young. Grandmas are still working. Grandmas are tired too. We don't have that village to trust with our children the way we used to. So we literally are stuck now looking for someone to do pickups after school. Do you know the burden of a pickup after school that it places on a mother who's at work? Because now you have to leave this job, go somewhere else to pick up your children and make it back home. So I was blessed. I had my sister. She was a great support system with my girls. She would pick my baby up from daycare. Ajane's dad would drop her off at home. And like I said, dinner was already cooked. So my sister would feed them. She would bathe my baby for me, and she would help with homework. By the time I got home, I got off of work at 6:30. I didn't get home till 7:30, almost 8 o'clock every night because of my commute from Piscataway, which was freaking brutal. And that was my life. So I'm getting home at 8 o'clock. I kiss my babies. I sleep in the bed with them sometimes because I miss them. And we start all over the next day. I'm taking out dinner for tomorrow. Could you imagine how elated I was when my kids got a little older and my job situation changed and my hours changed? A Monday through Friday, like a 8 to 4 is a dream job for a woman with children. If I can get them to school or daycare before my shift starts, get enough time to commute to my job, and get off in time before daycare closes down, have enough commute time to get to the school, pick up my children, make it home, prepare a meal, eat together, bathe, help with homework, and start all over. That's a dream, and in itself, it's a lot. So let's add in the extra component that you have this other person, this significant other that's not that significant, and they're not really helping you. They're actually stressing you on top of that. I've watched young ladies at work crying on their break. I've watched them on the phone yelling and screaming. So I sit back and say all of this, and I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but it needs to be said. It is time for us to level the playing ground. If that person is not significant in your life, if they are not bringing joy to your life, if they are not assisting in that daily routine, if they are not helping out around the house, if they are not picking up extra chores to assist you, if they don't work, if they are not providing, why are they there, sis? Why are you stressing yourself out to be involved with something that's just taking from you and not giving to you? We have to stop the madness. It is up to us as women to set the bar high. Men survive because they love women. They go to work to make money, to take care of women, to have options for women. If we stop settling for less, they'll stop giving less. All of us are beautiful in our own ways. Step up your game. Get up every morning, take that shower, brush your hair, make yourself beautiful, clean up your house, clean out your closets, get organized, get on a schedule. Make yourself marketable to a good man or not. If you can't find a good one, don't settle for somebody just to have somebody there, because he is only, or she, in a relationship because, everybody's not with heterosexual. It's, people who are in same-sex relationships, and that's just as stressful. You do not want to continue to be in this relationship with someone who is not elevating you, taking the stress off of your day, helping you out, being there for you, massaging your shoulders at the end of the night, saying, babe, I saw your magic today. That meal was delicious. I thank you, my queen. I see everything that you do. You holding it down. You helping me out. I'm the man, and you're providing half of these bills. And in many instances, sis, we holding it all down. We paying the majority of the bills because a lot of women got better jobs than these guys. I'm just keeping it real. I'm holding you down and you're stressing me out. But I'm holding on to stress. It's going to come a time in your life where you're going to hit a certain age and it's not going to be good enough anymore. You will wake up one day and say, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. It's not benefiting me. It's not benefiting me. Clean out your pocketbooks. That's the best way I could say it. You ever walked around with a pocketbook and you had a whole bunch of junk in it? I mean, food, chicken nuggets. I've been there. All kind of old bills that I didn't need, old insurance cards, old cosmetics, earrings, mismatched jewelry. I mean, everything you could think about, we carry on our shoulder as women, right? You ever sat and just cleaned out your pocketbook? You feel good. It's clean. You got rid of all that old junk mail that you don't need anymore. You've gotten rid of all those old cosmetics that you weren't using. You've situated your money, your change, got rid of the jelly beans, whatever the garbage. I've sat there and cleaned out these big bags that I like to carry and seen the garbage that came out of my bags after I decided that enough of carrying around this trash was too much and I wanted to get rid of it. Clean out your pocketbooks. That's the message for the day, ladies. Clean them out. Clean out the pocketbook. Get it organized. Get your finances where they belong in your wallets. Put your insurance cards where they belong. Put your keys together. Buy yourself a cute little key ring to honor your car that you're working hard to pay for. Clean out your purse. Clean up your household. Clean up your lives. Clean up your heart. Clean up your soul. Clean up your energy. Don't let anyone or anything steal what's most sacred to you, your center of being. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Let go of the heartache. You're doing it by yourself now. You can do it by yourself without the stress. Love on yourself, queens. I hope this message touches someone like it touched my sis that gave me the shout out earlier. I don't know exactly what she was going through in her life, but whatever it was, my message touched her, and I'm truly grateful for that. I apologize again that this video was so long, but I just needed to get that off my chest. And I too am working on myself. I'm working on my center of being, and it feels great. And I hope that someone else enjoys this.